why hasn't an application like I built been built yet for tinnitus habituation? Why? If it's so good, why now? Wouldn't someone else create it? I'm going to answer this question for you in the best way that I possibly can, coming from a tinnitus sufferer and a developer's perspective. So you can understand why there haven't been a lot of habituation tools on that journey. For one, tinnitus sufferers are a nightmare for tech companies. Tech companies don't want to deal with people who are in a place where they're going to be doing tech calls at 3 a.m. and they're neurotic and they're emotional and they're triggered easy. I mean, this space is a nightmare because you could get a bad review so easily. You could, you know, a ton of things can happen that would not be beneficial for the company in this space. That alone keeps tech companies away from helping tinnitus and creating products for these people because when the tech space wants, it's like a tech firm. First off, you can't, one developer wouldn't be able to build this. You would need an entire tech company and a ton of funding because a product to build an application like this, starting out, like an MVP would cost anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000, depending on the developers. You would have to have a junior dev, a senior dev, a project manager, and you'd probably have to have a like a designer and someone that really understands the space psychologically. Here, because let me explain to you how applications are built. Usually, there is an entire team or a firm that builds each component of the application out. So and then there's like a project manager that manages the entire project. I mean, most people, individuals, don't just sit down and build something like this from start to finish because it's extremely difficult. It's not that coding is technically, well, it is hard, but it's not that it requires a ton of intelligence. It requires being in confusion, really. When you go down to code, it's 80% fixing bugs and it's 20% building. So this is hard for most people to do because most people quit when they're installing they're installing the dependencies and they quit, right? Right. Very few people are going to stick with something and debug like 500 errors and continue to plow through and go. And so that's why it's very difficult, and that's why coding is so expensive, and that's why you see tech companies have to put a ton of funding in these things because they have to find the talent. Developers are expensive. A developer from America is like, especially if they've even remotely been working, they worked at a good firm or they know what they're doing. You're looking at 10K a month, which is why I'm hiring my developers here from the Philippines because it enables the company to scale more quickly, easily, more effectively. With all that being said, the customers for tinnitus are really challenging for tech companies. They don't want to have to deal with people like the kind of people that are like tinnitus sufferers, right? Like you've heard that okay, so when you build a company, you want to find a problem and you want to offer a solution. That's true. There are some people that they don't really want to find a solution for because of the nature of the community. The tinnitus sufferers believe that treatment for tinnitus should be free. They go to the free Facebook groups, which are trash. They go to the free Reddits, which are trash. They consume the free content online. A lot of it's good. Some of it's trash. They mistaken information for transformation. They believe they can intellectualize their way out. They believe they can find the answer. They can find it for free online. They shouldn't have to pay. This is a health-related thing. I'm suffering. Someone needs to give me everything. That is an entitled way of looking at it. People, especially if they're good at something, they're not going to do it for free. A tinnitus doctor is not going to do it for free. A coach is, if they're good, they're not going to do it for free. They're just not. And this is something that a lot of tinnitus sufferers don't really get. Um, and it's a big reason why I believe that the cure, habituation, isn't more mainstream, because people don't want to do the work, they don't want to pay, they don't want to, you know, they're really hard to deal with. They complain a lot, they nag. They're really a nightmare for any company. That's why they don't build them solutions. You know, that's why doctors, I think, it's it's a problem that I believe I've developed the solution to with the app that I built, the application I built, because it's an easy way to accompany someone into habituation. And I say it all over as disclaimers. It's not a quick miracle fix. It's not a hoodoo voodoo PDF you download and you say a mantra and you're healed. No, it's nothing like that. It is a companion that helps you on your journey to habituation. Nothing is guaranteed, because just the nature of habituation is that the science doesn't guarantee anything. But this is the best shot at holding you accountable to doing all of the steps that would put you into that bracket of people that habituate. That's the most honest thing I can absolutely say. That's the honest thing I can absolutely say. Would I have more business if I sat here and was like, download this app and you're going guaranteed? Probably, but it wouldn't be truthful. Could I get here and sit on here and shill supplements to you for like $300? Probably, but it wouldn't be honest. I couldn't live with myself. Could I get on here and could I go to an ENT and make a deal and probably get a cut on in-ear noise generators as an affiliate and just shill them all day? Get 30% or 40% on a $7,000 in-ear noise generator? Probably. A lot of people do it, but I wouldn't feel good about it. And when I was really thinking about it, I'm like, what would I really feel good about promoting? And I actually built a course. I legit built a course. And I was going through it and I realized I did a lot of research on what a course like, and I realized that, like, 80% of people don't finish courses. So I'm like, do I really want to take people's money and know that 80% of people aren't going to finish it? Because I know how to build webinars. I'm really good with ads, like Facebook ads. And I was just like, there has to be a solution that people are going to do that what do they really need is what I asked. And I'm like, tinnitus people don't need more information. They need transformation. Transformation comes by doing, comes by habits. And that's what, when I built this application, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is transformation because it holds people accountable. It gets people to do the things that they need to do. It breaks all of this big thing about habituation, right? This big mystical thing, and it breaks it down to like daily bite-sized chunks that anyone can do. Anyone. 5-minute meditation. Anyone can do that. Stuff like that. So, yeah, that is why, if you're wondering why hasn't habituation gone more mainstream, well, it's for one, it's not profitable to push habituation from an ENT standpoint. Two, people in the West want quick fixes, and habituation isn't a quick fix. Three, from a tech standpoint and a developer standpoint, the customers are a nightmare, and they want things for free. So most people aren't going to pay; they're going to fight you tooth and nail, they don't realizing that if they supported a, a solution that was affordable and more development could go into it, that would be the literal thing that would help people heal and recover from bothersome tinnitus. That's how the world works. If you don't want to fund Amazon, buy local. This is something people can't seem to understand, but This is one of the big reasons why, we look, I don't want to get on that, but I'm like, we look at the world and why is it such a big place and globalization and blah, blah. Well, globalization was an inevitability, but why Amazon and why is Walmart so prevalent in America, but not here where I live in the Philippines? Because people here, there's more of a culture of family and community. And so they support local here. Not in America, they don't. What is the cheapest? What is free? I want what I want. That's it. You know? That's why people in the West feel so, I think, disconnected from community, from family, from themselves. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video here. Get a free trial, 7-day, link below. Tinnitus Companion, everything I know about tinnitus, everything I've learned, the literature, all of my experience from helping clients I put inside there to help hold you accountable on the steps to habituation. So there's also a Discord in there. When you sign up for the app, you can get on the Discord, and it's you can go in there and ask questions about the app, improvements, things, updates, things like that. Things like if you don't know how to use it, I put a quick walkthrough video in the settings. Just watch that walkthrough video, and you can also come into the Discord and ask for help there. There's a community tab. I'm gonna put that in there too as well to really just help get you going in the right direction. So make sure to comment. I love reading the comments. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.